Yay! Happy Dog It's Friday! Yay! I was gonna say Thanksgiving Dog It's Friday. It pretty much is almost today.
Yep. And in honor of that, that's kind of what we're working on today is a Thanksgiving dinner dog treat for our pups. So we love to get together every week on Friday. We call it Thank Dog It's Friday or TDIF. Just to do something in honor of our love of our dogs. And so might be a craft, it might be something like that. But today we happen to be doing a recipe. And because Thanksgiving's right around the corner, we decided to do some Thanksgiving dinner dog treats.
Yum, yum, yum. These are so great. So everybody, my name is Patty Quinn from We Heart Hounds, just in case we haven't met before.
Yeah, and I'm Hillary Buchholz from We Heart Hounds as well. Hello, everyone.
And I unfortunately have a little bit of a cold I'm fighting, but I just couldn't miss our little time together on Friday. So moms aren't supposed to have sick days. I don't think dog moms are allowed to have sick days either. So I'm going to just stick it out and see what I can do.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump into what we're going to need for this recipe. And first thing, sort of the base of actually, I'll kind of go with the meat. So you can't have Thanksgiving dinner without some turkey.
Yep.
So we have a 1/4 pound of ground turkey that we just browned up. And I think it's definitely brown it before you start adding it into the rest of the ingredients. It just is safer that way. Everything's all the way cooked through. So in here, I have my 1/4 pound of ground turkey. Mm-hmm. And then with that, I also have 1/3 cup of diced carrots. So, and pretty small dice on those carrots. They don't have to be super, super tiny, but pretty small. You don't want just giant chunks of carrot.
Yeah,
and I'm putting it into the biscuit.
I got mine a little separate, so you can see how tiny those are.
Yeah.
And for browning turkey, just a little tip: you want it more than just a gray. You do want to see a nice brown coating on it because that's really where the flavor comes from. So brown it enough so you're starting to see, kind of that. I don't want to call it a char, but kind of a. Like not even grill
starts to caramelize a little on those edges, and that's perfect. How the flavor comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with that, we're also doing sweet potatoes, and I have a cup of mashed sweet potato. So
I'm gonna should I put my turkey and carrots into my bowl, and then are you adding how are you adding the ingredients together?
Yep.
What's the order?
I'm just gonna pop my turkey in here right after
Okay, perfect.
So with my sweet potato, I just took one sweet potato and pierced it and threw it in the microwave and then mashed it once it was cooked. But you could also use frozen sweet potato, and I think Patty, you have canned.
I do.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is kind of our base here is the sweet potato. And then we're gonna add in our ground turkey and carrot to that.
Set that aside. I still need to mash my potato.
And if you're getting canned or frozen sweet potato, the thing that you wanna look out for is just what are the ingredients in there? So ideally, it's just sweet potato or yam, whatever the case may be. Sometimes with canned or frozen, they might add other ingredients, whether it's sweeteners or spices or things like that. Just be aware of what those ingredients are.
Right. And ideally, avoid anything with spices. Mine, I think I do have a little bit of sweetener in it, but I poured out all the syrup. I made sure there wasn't any of that in it. And I think because these are not everyday treats, and Ginger is so tiny and her treats are going to be pretty tiny. I don't think I'm worried too much about the level of sugar because it's not like, peaches in syrup or whatever,
Right.
heavy syrup. It is a sweetener, but I'm really just kind of keeping an eye on how much is being added to the recipe.
Yeah.
So we want a cup of the mashed potatoes, the mashed sweet potato.
Yep.
Get that.
And then I've just added those, kind of mashed that all together.
Okay, perfect.
And then,
So it looks like I think I have a cup already.
and that's sort of your wet ingredients, I would say. So the other kind of, that's what's going to try to kind of bring everything together, is that sweet potato that we're adding in there.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can't have Thanksgiving dinner without some cranberry sauce. So I have a 1/4 cup of diced cranberries, and I'm just using some craisins. These are sweetened, but the only ingredients are cranberries and sugar. So again, we're using a relatively small amount in here.
Yeah.
So that little bit of sweetener isn't gonna. Oh, and I do think like dicing them down if they're real big, just to keep they don't have to be tiny again, but
just to keep the chunks small.
Yep. So that once you start actually putting it together, you don't have great big chunks that are gonna make your biscuit fall apart or make your cookie fall apart. So that's really the only idea there, of trying to keep the pieces a little bit small.
Okay.
And if you were really worried, like if you're really trying to do little cookies or something like that, you could also run it through a food processor. But I really like the kind of getting to see the different pieces and the ingredients that come through once you cook them together. So I like them a little bit chunkier.
Well, and they're so colorful, it's fun to see all the different colors in them. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us today. We're making Thanksgiving dinner early for our bud. All right. I'm just tearing up some of my cranberries. Oh, that looks so cute. That looks pretty, really pretty. Holiday food is so pretty, isn't it?
It definitely gets you in the spirit. There's nothing like cooking for the holidays.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So then another one of our kind of binder ingredients is just a tablespoon of honey. And one of the things to note about honey, if you're using raw honey, is to be cautious about really young pups or dogs with compromised immune systems. You should be careful with raw honey in particular, but in general, honey is a good sweetener for dogs, and obviously not a ton. We're not trying to use too much of it. So this is just a tablespoon for our whole batch here.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks so much for joining us today. I have my little food tester. She's ready and waiting for these when they come out of the oven. I know. She's right now.
I've got one down by my feet as well.
Mine's going to have to wait till I get them cooked, but it's really starting to smell good.
Yeah.
I could smell the sweet potato. I think that's probably the predominant flavor that I'm smelling. With the honey, they'll be extra sweet potatoes.
Yep. And then just to kind of give another, add a little bit of moisture throughout, about a tablespoon of coconut oil. And you can use more or less, like as you're adding this in, as we're adding some of our other dry ingredients. If you need a little more, you can add a little more. But start with about a tablespoon.
Okay.
That'll really help to just keep them nice and moist and a little bit more like a chewy cookie as opposed to like a dry biscuit.
Oh, right. And we have other dry ingredients to add, so this will,
Yep.
It'll help bind everything together too.
Exactly. And then for our dry ingredient, we are using half a cup of quick oats.
Okay. Got mine.
And it comes together pretty easy. It's not a super dry, it's not super dry or super wet. And you can kind of adjust the ingredients. This isn't precise baking by any stretch. If you feel like you need a little bit more dry, you can add a little bit. We're also gonna add a little bit of flour. That'll help kind of make everything come together as well.
Yeah. It is almost like cooking dinner in terms of the ingredients, as opposed to like what you typically, the chemistry involved in baking,
Exactly. It's I don't know, I would say art, not science for this recipe. So you can wing it a little. There's no wrong answer here.
I apologize, everybody, if my camera keeps jiggling as I'm stirring. All right. Okay. Here's what mine looks like.
So,
yeah.
And then
it's a nice recipe size too, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't make a huge ton of treats, especially if you have little pups. And then a quarter cup just to kind of help everything really come together of flour. I'm using white flour here, but you could use wheat or coconut flour, whatever you have available that you feel comfortable with. So,
yeah. Okay.
And I do add the flour in and kind of a batch just in case I feel like it's getting, so I'll do about half the flour first. And then if I feel like it's getting, okay, it's a little bit too dry or whatever, you can either add some more coconut oil or just not add the rest of the flour if you feel like
okay.
Because depending on, especially if you're using like a fresh sweet potato or something like that, it'll really vary how much moisture you have in your.
Sure.
So if you're using canned, it'll probably be quite a bit. There will be a bit more moisture in your mixture.
So it's really starting to come together. I've only put about half my flour.
Yeah.
Now it's looking more like a dough, which is,
That's what we want. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used about 3/4 of my flour, and I think that's where I'm going to stop. So you can kind of see the consistency there.
Okay. Yep.
And then the final little additive is just a teaspoon of dried parsley.
That's so sweet. I don't have any parsley on me, so I'm not going to add that ingredient. It's an optional one, I think, anyway.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
We're good there. But that adds that little spark of green.
Exactly.
Which is really pretty. And obviously some good flavor.
Yep. A little bit of fresh parsley flavor.
This is definitely the fall Thanksgiving dinner for our pups.
Yep. We got sweet potatoes, we got cranberries, we've got turkey, and some carrots. So here's my dough, and then it's just real simple. Cookie sheet, greased. And then I'm taking I just do it with my hands. I find that pretty easy. And I do about a tablespoon per.
Okay.
But you can make them bigger or smaller depending on the size of your pups. And just kind of rolling them into a little patty.
Okay.
So yeah, and if you have them in a ball, just kind of squish them down a little bit so that they'll cook nice and evenly once you pop them in the oven.
Oh. Almost like thumbprint cookies, kind of.
Yep. Yep. So here you can
And since
see mine.
my little girl is pretty small, I'm making mine really small. And I put foil on mine.
Yep.
So.
And you can kind of see those cranberries peeking through and a little bit of parsley and everything. So
yeah, those are going to be adorable.
And this batch for me makes pretty much a full cookie sheet worth of treats. So we just keep on going. And then once you have them all laid out, you're just going to set your oven to 350 and put them in for about 18 to 20 minutes, I would say. And here's our
those look so delicious.
Final cookies.
Those are great. Hi, Nancy. Thank you. Nancy says yum.
And I do have a little taste tester down here. So let me see if I can angle a camera so we can see her.
My little taste tester. She'll have to wait until they come out of the oven.
Come here.
Oh, there you are.
We can only see your nose.
Thank you. Nancy says they're so amazing. They look so sweet. They really are so colorful and so yummy. This way, you're not having to worry about whether or not your pup's, eating stuff that's not good for them on Thanksgiving. Yeah. There's lots of tempting people foods on the table, and you can feel good about giving them something that's specially for them for Thanksgiving dinner, that's good for them, and just as delicious as what we would be gobbling up as well.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It definitely brings them into the Thanksgiving dinner tradition. So
yeah,
it's kind of nice. All right. Well, yeah. So if you guys end up making these, we would love to hear how they turn out. If your pups like them, if you have any variations on the recipes, we always love to hear anything that you guys come up with. So please, please, please share it with us. We want to hear how they come out.
Even better, like if you make this recipe, snap a picture of your pup eating the treats. Like that's what I would love to see. Like all these pups getting some yummy Thanksgiving treats this holiday. So thank you so much, everybody. I again apologize for my having a cold this week. Hopefully I'll be all better. Next week, actually, because it's the day after Thanksgiving, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but we're going to do something different. We're going to do a Facebook watch, which is running some reruns of our Thank Dog It's Friday. So we'll run, several of them. We'll be watching live with you. So everybody, it's kind of like a watch party. We all get to watch together live and comment and ask questions and laugh and have a good time. It'll be Black Friday. So unless you're out there shopping and hitting the stores, I usually stay at home and kind of avoid the madness. I'll be more than happy to celebrate Black Friday with everybody. Binge watching some TDIF shows with you. So please join in the fun. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, that would be great. And everyone, please have a wonderful holiday coming up.
Yes.
You joining us for our TDIF, and we hope you come back for the next ones.
Yeah. Please enjoy your holiday. Hope this recipe inspired you to get out there this weekend and give it a try. So you have them on hand for Thanksgiving. Please know how grateful we are for each and every single one of you. Really, we couldn't be doing this without you. You are our inspiration, and we are just truly happy to be here with you each and every Friday. So hope to see you again next time. Have a great holiday,
Thanks,
everybody.
Everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Ginger says goodbye.